to be looking at today is depreciation. So last time we were looking at appreciation, which means going up. Depreciation means going down. Okay, so you're losing money. Now, there's two main types of depreciation, and they are known as straight line method, also called prime cost, and the other one is diminishing value method. The one we're going to look at on this video is the straight line method. So I'll just put a question up here. So let's write that in. This is going to be straight line method. And most generally, what that really means is it goes down by the exact same amount every year. Okay? So when I look at this question up here, a commercial refrigeration unit has a useful life of 4 years. It originally cost $15,000 and its scrap value is estimated at $4,000. It is depreciated by the straight line method. So as you can see, it's gone from 15 to 4. What is the annual depreciation? So when I'm looking at that first question, the loss equals 15,000, take 4,000, and we get 11,000. The annual depreciation is equal to the loss divided by the number of years. So in this case, sorry about my writing up there, I just realised I've written 10,000 and that should say 11,000. It's 11,000 divided by 4 years. So we do 11,000 divided by 4, we get 2,750. So what that means is that using this method, the fridge is going to drop $2,750 in value every single year until they get rid of it. Okay? Now, when we're looking at the second one, it says, for the first year, what is the annual depreciation as a percentage of the prime cost? Now, the prime cost is how much it started with. Now, there's a lot when you're talking percentage formulas, it keeps changing all the time, but basically, it's the thing you're interested in divided by the original value. So in this case, the percentage depreciation, now, the thing we're interested in is our depreciation the original value is our prime cost. So that's how we come up with the formula, and to get to a percentage, we always multiply it by 100 at the end. So our depreciation is 2,750 divided by our prime cost, which is 15,000, multiplied by 100. And we do that and we end up with a percentage of 18.33%. So that's what we're looking at when we're talking about annual depreciation. Now, the big thing you've got to be comfortable doing is what we're going to have a look at next, and that's creating one of these, which is a depreciation schedule. Now, it's always going to have year at the start, and the amount of rows you have is the amount of years of life that the object has. In this case, it's a useful life of 4 years, so that's why I've got 5 rows, one at the top for the names, 4 rows for the 4 years. At the top, the next column is always our starting value. So for the first year, the starting value will be $15,000. The next column will be the depreciation. Because we are using this particular method, which is called straight line, that value will be the same every year. So we worked it out before. it was 2,750. So you can fill in all of them with that. And the last column is the written down value. So after depreciation, how much is it worth that year? So for the first one, it is 15,000. Take depreciation, which is 2,750, and we're left with $12,250. Now, what it is worth at the end of, give me a moment, sorry about that, doing silly things now. What it is worth at the end of the year is what it starts its value of the next year. So, what we do is, this value here gets written down here. So we can write in 12,250. And it'll be the same thing when we get to the end. It'll be 12,250 this time. Take 2,750. And we'll end up with 9,500. So same thing, what we ended off 1 year is what we start the next year at. So the 9,500 comes down here and gets written here. And we keep going with filling in the table. So the starting value is 9,500 in year 3. We come to the end, we take off the amount again, and we get to 6,750. And same procedure again. Whatever we ended with is what we start the next year with. So 6,750. And we have 6,750, take 2,750, and we end up with 4,000. The nice thing about these tables is you always know if you're stuffed up, because this last value, the 4,000, has to be the value written into the question, which is 4,000. If it's not, you need to go and check your maths out, because you made a mistake somewhere. Now, the last thing we're going to look at is we can graph this. Okay? So, we can graph the depreciation. And we will call this, it's going to be the book value. And I'm going to shorten the title. So, book value of the fridge. And down the bottom is always our independent variable. And in general, if in doubt, it's nearly always time. So we've got 0 years, 1, 2, 3, 4 years. And up the side we can go up 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. And this will be the value in dollars. Didn't write my V in, that's not very nice. Alright, so what we do is we plot the points. So when we look at this, if we go back to our table, we know at year 0, it was worth 15,000. So we can put a dot. We know at year 1, it was worth, so the start of year 1, it was worth 12,250. So we can put in a dot. And then we know that at the start of year 2, it was worth 9,500. and then the start of year 3, it was worth, sorry, I've got that wrong. At the end of year 1, it was worth 12,250. At the end of year 2, it was worth 9,500. At the end of year 3, it was worth 6,750. And then at the end of year 4, it is worth 4,000. Sorry about the sink is popping up. It gets very annoying. And what we can do is join them all together. Now we've got all our dots in the right spot. It should be a perfectly straight line. So obviously my dots are off a little bit, okay? But what we have there is a graph showing straight line depreciation. And that is why it's called straight line method, because you'll always end up with a straight line on your graph. Okay, so that's straight line method done.